thought I'd do a quick little video here tonight and show a little recipe that I haven't made up in a while actually, but it's one that the kids seem to like and goes together quick, so perfect for a weeknight. I'm gonna throw this together. It's 6:39. We're gonna see how quick I can put this recipe together. It's gonna take me longer to pick up the stuff I drop on the floor than it is for that. So anyway, it's a Crunchwrap Supreme. It's basically like what you see out at the fast food place that the kids all love. And it comes together really quick. It's actually kind of a cool little recipe, so I thought some people might like this. One thing I do have to grab here is some chipotles. So basically it's a sauce and the meat and some cheese, and of course I can't find it. Nothing like putting them in front of you and then not being able to see them. So we're gonna see how quick this comes together. The only thing I've done is I've got ground meat and onions in this skillet, and they're on about medium heat and they're cooking away. I have a can of chipotles. To make the sauce, I'm gonna take some of these chipotles, and according to how hot you want this, how many you add, that's 2 chipotles, and then I'll add some of the sauce. Mine will probably be a little hotter than a lot of people like, but that's 3. I just kept on adding while I was talking. And then I have here some pickled jalapenos. Now that's a whole bowl full, and we used already some of these, so this is going to be probably a little extra spicy, but you don't have to use that much. You could just use the chipotles and just don't put as many of them in there. And so what I got, I didn't plan this out. Oh, there it is. So I didn't plan that out very well. So I've got to grind these up. So I got this little blender thingy here that I'll use to grind these up. I do all this so you can see actually how long this recipe takes, so you'll know for your own kitchen, if you didn't do any of the work ahead of time, how long this would take. So this meat is just browning up with these onions. Kind of break it up. You can leave that. You can leave it in chunks if you want. You can leave it in patties. If you really want to make this fast, just get some patties at the store that are already patted out. Cook those up until they're done and use those. So, all right, I got a bowl. I've got what little sour cream we have. We hardly ever run short on sour cream, and of course I decided to do a recipe that needed sour cream the day we were short on it. But I've got some mayo. You all know I don't care too much about putting the sour cream spoon in the mayo. I mean, it's probably bad, but who knows. Equal parts mayo, sour cream. I've got a little garlic. I probably won't put the mayo spoon in with the garlic, but what I will use is the backside of this knife blade. A couple cloves of garlic, minced up, and then my chipotles that I just blended up with the jalapeno. I'm gonna dump those in there. So then I need a little onion powder. And I don't really have to salt and pepper this much. I don't worry about salt and pepper, and especially in these sauces. You put it in your wrap if you want, who cares? You ain't gotta do it in the sauce, but I will add just a little. Because if you don't, nobody watches and everybody thinks you're crazy because you didn't add salt and pepper. Whatever. All right, mayo, sour cream, the chipotles, a little bit of jalapeno, onion powder, salt and pepper, and this is gonna be our sauce. So we just mix this up. And having done this 10,000 times in cooking classes and in the shows and stuff I've done, you always taste the stuff that's probably too hot and then see the reaction, because then you lose your breath. Back when I first started doing these years ago, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And then I couldn't talk for the next 5 minutes, which made it even more entertaining. That makes a fantastic dip for chips too, by the way. If you just want to stick a chip in that Super Bowl party. Oh, That's outstanding. Okay, my meat's almost cooked here. Still got a little bit of pink in it, so let's give that a little mash to that. We're 5 minutes into this recipe. Notice I got a second skillet that's going here. It's just warming up. I'm gonna add a little cumin to this meat. That's about a half a teaspoon. My favorite, which is smoked paprika, same thing, half, 3/4 of a teaspoon. Garlic powder, that was way more than what I'd planned on, so that's probably a teaspoon. A little onion powder, even though I've got onions in it. A little bit of black pepper, and then, I didn't see what I was going for. I will add a little water to this, only because I want kind of that saucy consistency to this. You could use a packet of taco sauce or taco seasoning, probably the easiest way to do it. But if you've already got all the stuff, why not just put your own in there? Okay, so this is basically done. Let me get it stirred around here. You don't want this real wet because it makes your crunch wraps not as crunchy. So kind of cook off any liquid that's in that. And what I've got is I've got different tortillas. Now, you don't have to have a lot of different tortillas. I'm running out of workspace here. You do need a flour tortilla, so I'll start with that. And that's going to be the base of our crunch wrap. So here's my flour tortilla. All right, so I got it laid out here. What I'll do to make these is I'll take a tablespoon or so full of my sauce, and I'll put that on the bottom here. And I will roll that out. Next, I have a slice of American cheese. I like American in this. Use cheddar, use Monterey Jack, use whatever you want. It doesn't matter. As long as they're cheesy, when you get done with it, that's what matters. I want to continue to cook most of this liquid off. And then in my other skillet, I need a little bit of oil. Now you don't want much oil in this because you just want these to kind of brown up. So that's probably 2 teaspoons of oil, and maybe a little bit much. It's probably actually a hair much. I'm going to pour out maybe a teaspoon of oil. Make sure that bottom's coated really good and that skillet comes up pretty warm. Then I've got my meat. I've cooked it. You can maybe see down in there, there's not much liquid down in that because I don't want this to be real super moist. So I'll take some of my meat and I'll put that right there on my cheese. You don't need a ton because you got to roll these up. So I've got that on there. I've got some tomatoes. I'll throw a little tomato in here. Adds a little color to it. Plus it kind of adds a little texture and a little bit of flavor. I've got some iceberg lettuce. I'll take a little piece of that. I'll throw me a little lettuce on here. Just like so. That's coming out real nice right there. Now I gotta get me another spoon. And what I have is some queso cheese. You could use another slice of American. You could use some cheddar. You could use whatever you want, whatever you have. I did not warm this up, so it's a little solid right now. Now, I like to do these the easiest way possible because right now it's a little too packed for me to put all this stuff in there. So what I'll do is I'll use one of these small tortillas on the top, but to get the crunch of the crunch wrap, you don't have a crunch wrap if you don't have crunch. We have some of these nacho chips, and I'll lay these over my cheese, kind of covering it all. You don't want them too thick because they're just going to get smashed down when you fold this up. But that's your crunch. So you put that there. You take one of these small tortillas and you place that right over the top of that like so. Now, if you want a little more sauce and you want it to have a little more kick, before you do that, add a little more of your sauce right over top of your chips and then put your tortilla. You'll notice this is a corn tortilla and this is a flour. This could be another flour. It could be a piece of one. It could be however you want it. You just go around this baby. Now, this works better if you microwave these flour tortillas for a minute or so ahead of time, because they're softer and they're more pliable. So when you got it together, you have it like so. You take it over here, you put it in your skillet, give it a little press. Make sure you put that seam side down in there. We'll give this a couple minutes. That's pretty good. And again, 4 or 5 minutes. We'll flip that over. We'll cook it on the other side. We'll have a Crunchwrap Supreme that holds together because we cooked the seam side down, and it's $6.49. Did that in 10 minutes, and I got a few minutes of that thing cooked. That's a pretty quick weeknight meal that even the kids love. I'll post a picture of this whenever it's done so you can see the end result, but I know that's going to be good.